He said you have to be crazy to beat crazy or something like that, but I am far from the crazy one here. I can't believe I'm actually doing this, but here we are. After reading Dean's ridiculous post about me, I feel like I need to set the record straight. There are always two sides to every story, and I can't sit by and let him paint me as this manipulative monster when that's not the case at all. I'm not perfect, but I had my reasons for everything I did, and I think once you hear my side, you'll see that Dean is the real problem here. Dean makes it sound like I just forced myself into his apartment and took over his life, but let's be real. He wanted me there. I wouldn't have moved in if I didn't feel welcome. I practically lived there already, and he never complained. If anything, he loved having me around all the time. So yeah, I mentioned moving in and he agreed. It's not like I just showed up with my bags one day and started redecorating. And about the furniture? Okay, so I replaced a few things. But honestly, have you seen Dean's taste? His apartment was practically a bachelor pad. It was like walking into a college dorm room, and not in a good way. I just wanted to make the place feel more like a home, something more mature. I didn't think I needed his permission for every single change. I mean, we were living together. Shouldn't it feel like our space? The paint incident. Dean is making such a big deal about the walls, but come on, beige is a neutral color. I thought it would be a nice change. His walls were this weird, dull gray color that made the apartment feel like a cave. I just wanted to brighten it up. And for the record, I thought he'd like it. I wasn't trying to steamroll him or anything. Plus, it's not like I painted it neon green or something crazy. He could have repainted it if he hated it that much, but instead, he just whined about it. Moving to be near my family. Dean conveniently leaves out that he always talked about wanting to try new things and explore new opportunities. I was just being supportive by suggesting he update his resume. I wasn't pushing him to do anything he didn't want to do. He's the one who always talked about how he felt stuck at his job. I thought I was helping. And yes, I mentioned jobs near my parents, but only because I was trying to think long-term for us. I've always been close to my family, and I just thought it'd be nice to be closer to them. I never forced him to do anything. I even helped him find job opportunities that would pay more than what he was making. How is that manipulative? I was looking out for both of us. The job offer from my dad. Dean acts like my dad was trying to trap him into some kind of mafia deal. My dad owns a very successful business, and he offered Dean an incredible opportunity. Dean would have been making double his salary. He's just too stubborn to see a good thing when it's right in front of him. I mean, who turns down an offer like that? It's not like my dad was going to force him to take it, but I thought it was a no-brainer. We could have been living such a great life, but no, Dean's passion was more important. The work sabotage accusation. Okay, this part is just insane. Dean actually thinks I sabotaged his work? Like, come on. I don't even know how to access his work stuff, let alone mess with it. He's just paranoid. Dean's always been a bit of a perfectionist, and when things started going wrong at his job, he needed someone to blame. Of course, it's easy to point the finger at me, but I had nothing to do with it. Maybe he was just losing his touch. It happens. And even if I did suggest he leave his job, which I didn't, that's only because I wanted what was best for him. He was so stressed out all the time, and I thought a fresh start might be good for him. I don't see how that makes me the bad guy. The car incident. Oh my God, the car thing. Dean is making it seem like I intentionally destroyed my own car just to get a new one, which is absolutely ridiculous. I didn't realize there was no oil in it. I'm not a mechanic. How was I supposed to know the engine would seize? It was an accident, okay? It's not like I wanted to ruin my car. I loved that car. But yes, when it broke down, I needed a new one. Is that a crime? Dean was being so cheap about it, though. Like, sorry, I don't want to drive a clunker. I work hard too, and I deserve something nice. He wouldn't have had to pay for the whole thing anyway, but he made such a big deal out of it. I just don't understand why he couldn't be more supportive when I was going through a tough time. The Kara situation. Oh, let's talk about Kara, his perfect sister who just loves to meddle in everyone's business. She's always hated me, probably because I'm the only one who ever stood up to her. Yes, I told her to stay out of our relationship, because she kept feeding Dean all these ideas about how I was crazy and controlling. If you ask me, Kara's the real problem here. She's jealous, that's all it is. Did I threaten her? No. I just told her to back off and let us live our lives. I might have mentioned that I knew some things about her that she wouldn't want getting out, which I do, but that's not a threat. That's just reality. If she hadn't been sticking her nose where it didn't belong, we wouldn't have had any issues. But Kara can't help herself, can she? She's always got to be the hero, saving her poor brother from the crazy girlfriend. Mark the doctor. Now here's where things get really nuts. Dean and his buddy Mark set me up. They played me like I was some kind of fool, but the joke's on them. Yes, I thought Mark was a doctor, and yes, I was interested in him, but that's only because Dean was pushing me away. He was making me feel unwanted, unloved, and like I was the problem. Mark was just there at the right time, and yeah, we had a connection. But Dean knew that. He set it all up because he's too much of a coward to break up with me like a man. And let's talk about Mark. He's a loser, a complete nobody. I found out after everything blew up that he's a broke actor, not a doctor. Can you imagine the humiliation? Dean set me up with some wannabe to make me look like the bad guy. Who does that? Who goes that far to get rid of someone? In conclusion, I know how this sounds. Dean and Mark probably think they won, that they beat me at some stupid game. But here's the thing. I'm not the crazy one here. I was just trying to build a life with someone I loved. And maybe I made some mistakes along the way. But that doesn't make me a bad person. Dean just couldn't handle a strong woman who knew what she wanted. I tried to help him. I tried to make things better for us, but he couldn't see that. Instead, he let his paranoia and his sister's toxic influence get in the way. And now he's posting on Reddit, trying to paint me as some manipulative villain. So, Reddit, you tell me, am I the asshole for trying to make our relationship work? Or is Dean just too insecure to handle someone who actually knows how to get what she wants? Because if you ask me, the real problem isn't that I'm crazy. It's that Dean couldn't handle a woman like me.